This morning we're talking with Ruth Jang, a very unique woman, because not only are you one of the fewer than 20 living veterans from World War II, Chinese American World War II veterans still living in the Sacramento area, I think you may be the only female.
Yes.
You're very unique. And I'm very happy to be here today. Can we talk a little bit about what you were doing before you went into the service? Maybe tell me a little bit about growing up on the Delta, and maybe a little bit about what your family did.
Oh, I was born in Walnut Grove, and the first 10 years of my life we lived in Walnut Grove. And then when I was 10 years old, my mother decided they want to move to Locke because Locke people are Heung-san people. Walnut Grove are mostly Siap.
Oh, yes.
And then she had a chance to buy a restaurant. So she opened up a restaurant there, and I remember I used to chop pork for her. I was 10, and I made hagao and siu mai on a Saturday to sell to the gambling house. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, it was fun growing up in Locke because I had a lot of friends, and I learned to skate.
You learned roller skate?
Roller skate. Yeah, in those days I was the only girl that had roller skate. It cost $1.25 to buy a pair.
Wow. And you roller skate on the street
Cement.
or the
on the sidewalk.
on the sidewalks?
Yeah. Then when I was old enough to go to when I graduated from high school, in those days they still have match marriage.
Yes.
Yes. See, and I said no, I'll find my own husband. So I went to
You were a rebel.
Yeah. So I went to school in college at Sacramento, but there's no place to live, so I had to work as a maid for a family, and I lived with them, and that's how I went to the college, and then let's see.
Can we stop right there?
Sure.
Because I remember one day you and I were talking, and you mentioned to me about how you learned English.
Oh, I couldn't speak English.
Tell me more about that.
Oh, because there's no radio and there's no TV in those days. So we speak Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
So when we went, I didn't go to school until I was 7 years old.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Were you helping your mother take care of the other children in the house?
I can't remember.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right.
But all I know is that there's a teacher there. I remember her name. Miss Neelis wanted to take me home from Locke to Sacramento, stay over with her. And that was very fun for me. That's the only thing I remember of my childhood.
You mentioned earlier, and I interrupted you, about you decided after high school, you decided to go to Sacramento and go to college.
Yeah.
To community college?
Yes.
Sac City College, and then you lived in a home and
as a maid.
As a maid.
Then I go to, I have half a day off on Sunday.
How much did you get paid?
Huh?
How much did they pay you, or did you work for room and board? $10 a month.
Yeah.
Boy, I wonder if your grandkids would work for $10 a month.
No, they wouldn't even work for $10 an hour.
I know, times have changed, haven't they? So now you were going to school at Sac City College.
Yeah.
And I think, was that around the time that you decided to volunteer? The war had, did Pearl Harbor? All right, so tell me what happened.
When the war started, that was back in 41.
Mm-hmm.
Then all the Japanese were taken away, so there was a chance, for me to take a test I worked for the state. So I took the test, passed it, so I worked for the state. And I remember I worked for the Department of Franchise Tax.
Franchise Tax Board.
Yeah. And I worked there for a while. And then one day this girlfriend of mine, I remember her name, but forgot, I can't get hold of her. She said, let's go down and enlist. I said, okay. So that's how I enlisted.
And that's how you enlisted. But so tell me the story though, because she went
To the Navy.
into the Navy, but you did not. Why?
I went to the Air Force
Okay.
because my brother and Harry, boyfriend, was in the
Oh,
Air
Harry
Force.
was your boyfriend.
Huh?
Harry,
Yeah,
who you eventually married.
yeah.
But at the
I was
time,
married,
Harry
but-
was your boyfriend. Ah, okay, good. We'll talk more about Harry later, but right now we're talking about you. All right, so because your brother
And
Ed
Harry was in the Air
and
Force.
Harry were already in the Air Force.
That's why I want to go in the Air Force.
Of your siblings, where do you fall? Are you the oldest, in the middle?
I was, fourth one,
You're number 4 out of
6.
6 children.
Mhm.
So did any of your other siblings ever ask you or have any comment about
No.
why you joined?
No, no.
The time was different though,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people
Hmm.
wanted
I mean,
to show their patriotism. And is that how you felt?
no, she just asked me to go, and I said, okay.
Okay, so you decide.
I don't know very much. It's just a high school,
Yeah. Well, you were young. So you decide you fill out the papers. So walk me through where were you? Were you here in Sacramento and you went to
I had
an office?
I was in
and-
Sacramento, and
Okay.
I went to when I enlisted, I told them I don't want to be shipped out of California because I've never been out of California before.
Mhm.
But then, you know how service. First thing I know, I was shipped to. I had basic training in Des
Oh,
Moines,
yeah.
Iowa,
Tell me about that. Tell me about your basic training.
for six weeks. Yeah,
6 weeks.
yeah. All I can remember is we marched a lot,
You marched a lot.
and then we had map. We learned map reading. I don't know why.
Oh, you learned map reading.
Yeah,
Oh.
and we were issued a gas mask. I
Oh.
can remember that. And I remember taking a lot of shots,
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay.
So that's about it.
And that's about it.
And then after basic training, they sent me to Georgia, Moody Field, Georgia.
Moody Field, Georgia.
Yeah, and that's awful place.
Why?
Well, it's humid, and the cockroaches were that big.
And what year was this? I'm sorry for the interruption. What year?
1943.
1943. Okay, now you're in Moody Field, Georgia, with the big cockroaches, very humid weather. And what was your job or role?
I was now they call it like a gopher,
A gopher.
I had a little electric card, either electric or gas. I can't remember that. All I know is that I would go to different places and under my seat is all the messages that I deliver.
Oh, okay.
And then every Friday night I get to play basketball.
Oh yes, tell us about the basketball.
After duty at night, we would fly to different bases, all the southeastern bases, like different air base. Can't remember the name of it.
That's all right.
we fly basketball. I love it because I was still very active at the time.
And you were tall
And I was tall, yeah.
for a Chinese girl.
Yeah, and I play center. That means you jump for the ball. In the old days, they have 3 compartments on the basketball. It's not like now where
Were there other Asian
No,
women
I was the only
in your
one.
unit?
No,
You were the only one.
only one.
Did you ever feel
Oh, I feel very
discrimination or
good. None at all.
none at all?
No.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. In fact, they treated me very well. I only had KP once all the time I was in the service. Usually you have more times than that, but
You only had to do it one time.
yeah. And,
In almost 2 years, you only did it once.
yeah.
You see?
and
You're
the
very
captain-
special.
So the captain called me up one day
Uh-huh.
and tell me to give an orientation to the soldiers, about China. And I didn't know anything about China. So I went to the library and looked it up. And to my surprise, I found out that not all Chinese eat rice. The northern Chinese, they have wheat. They don't have rice. They eat those buns,
Ah,
Bread, they have bread.
right.
Because they can't grow rice.
They couldn't
in
grow
the north.
rice. You see,
Northern
you taught
China.
me something. I did
You
not
didn't
know
know
that.
northern China?
No.
They don't grow rice. They have wheat.
Well, you see,
Yeah.
I guess to show you, I'm never too old to learn something new. Okay, so you had to do this orientation, and you learned a lot about China.
Yeah, and then I told them I speak 4 dialects. He said, are they real? They sound real different? Are they similar? I said, no, it's not like the United States where you have southern accent and all that. It's very different.
Now, your first station was Moody Field, Georgia, but
Yeah.
then you got transferred to
For
another,
1 year, I was transferred to New York,
to New York.
Mitchell Field.
And did you volunteer to go, or I don't
They
know
just-
how they worked, or did they just say one day,
No, they just sent me
Ruth, we're going to send you to a different location
to
now.
Mitchell Field, Long Island, and I was
Long
happy
Island. And why were you happy? Oh, no more
because-
cockroaches.
because the weather is better.
Oh, the
It's
weather
not
was
humid. And I get to work in the hospital, and the nurses were captured in Santa Tomas in the Philippines in those days, and they were released. And then they were sent to, they call them chief nurses. And I worked for her, and she gave me a room to myself. They treated me, otherwise you live in a barracks with, I don't know how many people.
Like a dorm with many
Yeah, you have
beds.
an inspection every morning. You have to make your bed a certain way, and you look at your, all your clothes have to be arranged a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But when the nurses gave me a room, I didn't have to do all that. So I
can't believe you're like, you only had to do KP once.
Yeah,
You got your own room in New York
on the second year, yeah.
in the second year, and your job was no longer, you had a different job.
Yeah,
What did you do?
I type up in the nurses that they have long days and short days.
Mm-hmm.
They type up those lists, and they like my work. They promoted me to a corporal by then.
You were promoted.
Yeah, and then I get to take the recovered soldiers to all the Broadway shows. I would take them because I don't know how I could. Right now, I can't even find my way around town, let alone New York. So take them by subway to go to all the Broadway shows. I used to take about 2 soldiers. That would.
And they were recovering in the hospital?
Yeah, they recovered.
So that was good therapy for them.
Yeah, but it's free, see.
And it was free.
Yeah, all the rodeo. I remember Radio City, the chorus girls,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw Harvey. I don't understand the play at all because I'm very green. And we saw Showboat.
Showboat,
Yeah,
yes.
an original cast. So that was. I would never get to do that if I had stayed in Locke. Yeah.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if you had stayed in Sacramento, if you had been able to see Broadway shows. So you were very fortunate. It seemed like you were very happy with your second assignment
Yes.
in New York.
Yeah.
And how long did you stay in New York? In Long Island?
Until the war was over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did they send you home? A train?
by train.
By train. I see that you have your dog tags. Can you show me?
Oh yeah.
All right. So what were your other favorite memories about New York? Besides going to free Broadway shows, you learned what was the dance of the day?
What was what?
The dance of the day. What you said you learned how to dance while you were
Oh,
there.
that was on, when it was nighttime.
What was that dance called?
Jitterbug.
The jitterbug. And you did you go to dances with the
Yeah.
soldiers or the military? Military
Right.
on
And usually, you don't mix it because I'm Asian.
uh-huh.
But there was no discrimination. They asked me to dance. And in Cortland High School, when it's raining, the PE is dances. Then we learn how to dance Mexican, Irish, all kinds of dances. So I was a good dancer because that's what we do in Cortland. So, and then...
So you were pretty popular on the dance floor.
Yeah, because I can follow them.
Did they have dance cards? Did you ever remember going to dances where they have a card and
Oh, no.
and they would
No,
fill
it's
it out
very
so they could
informal.
take their turns? Oh, very informal.
No.
They just come up and
Yeah,
say,
because,
Ruth, you want to dance?
Yeah, because they call it NCO, non-commissioned officers club, and they sell liquor like beer. We didn't no hard liquor, but beer.
Oh,
But then I don't like beer. We drink Coke. I remember Coca-Cola with my girlfriend. She's a blonde, and she's exactly my size. I always remember her. And then we used to go out. I don't know, she liked to hang with me. She's a real blonde, and I have real black hair at the time, lots of hair. See, we're supposed to wear our hair off the collar, so I had to wear what's called a snood.
okay.
Yeah.
To pull it back.
Yeah. So, but then evening we can go out and let it down. So she liked to dance also. So we always go together.
You're good
But
pals.
there's no date now. We just go to the club and
Right.
dance. And then 9 o'clock we had to come back to the barracks because, you can't stay out longer than that.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
You actually seem to have a really good 2 years.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it. Mhm.
That's good. And I'm sure you learned a lot about life.
Yeah.
A life away from a small town like Walnut Grove and Locke,
Yeah.
even Sacramento.
Oh, I want to forget. When I was in Long Island, there's a lot of these Long Island ladies heard about me, and they want to invite me to their homes. And I went a couple of times to their homes on Long Island. Like I said, they treated me really nice because I guess they're doing their patriotic duty, I guess, to invite a listener to their home and have dinner with them. I just went once because I can't be bothered with it.
How nice, though, that I can see that, where they would want to show their patriotism and invite someone in the military to their home to
Yeah.
thank them
Yeah.
for their service. Oh, that's great.
And there's a Chinese restaurant. It's called Royal Chungking
Royal Chungking.
on Long Island. Chinese restaurant. They invited me for New Year's dinner,
Oh.
and it was in the paper. I don't have the paper. It was one of the.
Oh, that's too bad. We don't have a picture of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Everything is lost. I can't remember where they are.
Oh, that's all right, but it's in your head.
Yeah.
So that's good. Have you been back to New York since?
Oh yes.
Do you
Several
still go to
times.
Broadway shows?
Oh no, I didn't go back for that. I just went back to visit because my daughter has a timeshare there.
Oh,
I went there and a couple of times. That's it.
yeah. Too bad. I guess the Broadway shows wouldn't be free anymore.
No, no.
Let's fast forward to how you reconnected
With what?
with Harry Jang, your
After
husband.
the war, we came back and we dated. Let's see, we went to. He was going to Cal at the time. Harry.
To Cal Berkeley.
Yeah, and I went back to school at City College.
Mm-hmm.
And then a weekend he comes home and we had. There's no place to go in lot except they have a small restaurant where they sell watermelon, slices. And then I can't remember much.
But you knew Harry
Long time ago.
when you were children?
Oh yeah.
So your families knew each other?
Because I ran around with his sister.
Oh.
He had a sister my age. So
Well, I heard he had a big family. So you and Harry decide to get married after he finishes college or while he was in college?
no, he didn't. He finished college at 1950.
In
We were
1950.
married 1947 because
Oh,
he had his master in architecture.
he became an architect.
Yeah.
Okay. And he also, like you said earlier, was in the Army Air Force.
Hmm.
And what was his job there?
He was a navigator.
He was a navigator on planes,
Yeah. He belonged to the outfit that's called 306.
the 306.
They didn't name it first over Germany.
The
So,
first over Germany. That was a very dangerous job.
Yeah. And then my grandson wrote about him on his, he has a history major.
Mm-hmm.
So he wrote an article about him. I don't know where they are, otherwise I could show it to you. If I find it some days, I'll mail it to you.
All right. Thank you.
But
Thank
anyway,
you.
he flew 35 missions. And let's see, what else did he do? Oh, the last mission was when he was bombing Utah Beach. I forgot what it is. They have different beaches they have to. That's about it. Oh, and then what's interesting is that the pilot asked him, "How come you're zigzagging all over the place?" And then Harry had the French underground told him where all the what do you call those guns?
Artillery.
What?
Artillery placement.
Oh, anti-aircraft gun?
Yeah.
Anti-aircraft guns.
Yes, where they were.
Oh.
So that's why he zigzagged and to avoid them. So this plane was never shot. So they come back and they buy him drink because he's a navigator. That was funny.
He was
The lead plane, remember?
he was a navigator in the lead plane.
Big plane, yeah.
That was even more dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very, very smart and resourceful, it sounds like. And he obviously survived the war, was given he was a very distinguished service
It is.
that he
only
did.
10% come back out of 300 in the squad.
Only 10% came
Made it
back
back.
out of his squad, and
Yeah.
he was one
At
of
that
them.
time.
And you're very fortunate that he came back to you.
Yeah.
So you got married in 47.
Yeah.
He was going to school then,
Yeah.
and then he got his master's
Master in architecture.
in architecture, and then where did you live when, did you
I
live in
lived
Berkeley?
a housing project in Richmond at the time.
In Richmond, okay. Okay, and then so tell me about your children. How many do you have?
I have 3.
You have 3 children.
I have 2 girls. Grant is the oldest, and the Sergey is the second, and the boy is named Harry, but we call him Bobby.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a Harry Jr.?
No, junior, because my Harry didn't have a middle name.
Ah, I
So
see.
my son has a middle name.
All right.
And
All right.
he's a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have 4 grandsons and 1 granddaughter.
You have 5 grandchildren altogether. 4
Yeah.
boys and 1 girl.
Yeah, the oldest girl is at Stanford. She's a nurse practitioner.
Oh.
And
Oh, at the Stanford Hospital?
yeah. And then
okay.
my other grandson, Brian, he graduated also as a doctor, and he's in Minneapolis interning. And the last grandson, he's also in medicine. He had 2 years of med school at Washington D.C. That's it.
Well, I'm sure you're very proud of them. Yes. So Harry was buried with honors at Arlington in
97.
1998, sometime around there.
I can't remember.
That's all right. And you want to be buried with him
Yes.
in
Oh yeah,
Arlington.
they reserved that spot for me already.
They've reserved a spot for you. You just continue to be very special.
I think we would be the only couple, Asian couple
Well, they're
in
not
Arlington. I haven't researched that yet, but
Maybe
both
that's-
of us veterans.
Yes,
Because usually the wife is not a veteran.
correct.
Yeah.
That's why you're very unique. Well, I want to just say thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Not only thank you for your service, because I am impressed. I am very impressed. But, there are so many stories of people that served in the war, in many wars, and sometimes they don't like to talk about it. So I'm very thankful that your experience was a positive one, and that you were willing to share your story with me. Very few women, and really you're a unique breed. You're the only one, the only female that we know of that is still a living World War II vet in the Sacramento area. So I'm honored. And I hope at your birthday later this year I get invited. So thank you so much.
You've been doing like it. I'll be
Yes.
100 in December.
You and I will get together and celebrate. So thank you.
You're welcome.
That is the Congressional Gold Medal, right?
Okay.
the Obama dog.
Okay.
Oh, no, he's a poodle.
Just a regular poodle.
Just regular. Oh, yeah, they had a Portuguese, something or other. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah.